Okay, welcome to a game of Shadowrun. We're up to session number 74. At least the audio is working tonight, unlike the start of yesterday. And it is season 2, episode 36. They are up to the 7th of the 5th month, 2051, which is a Sunday.
I was about to ask, is it Monday yet? Are we there yet?
Not quite. You've had multiple sessions relating to the 3 days of Euphoria being kidnapped by you.
Yeah, we spent a good half or quarter of the start of last session trying to look for our missing friends. and then our missing friends, aka you and Joe Star.
Okay, right.
And considering the network was still jammed by people trying to find Euphoria, it was very hard for people to call through. Which was an interesting side effect of telling everyone Euphoria was in Redmond Barrens.
That was a good solution to our problems.
It was a good solution, it just caused problems.
Can't move it up.
Online today we have Jeremy.
Yes, I'm playing Desmond Deathcock, the elf who grew up in the gutters of Seattle, that has big covered background and hereditary, but he's starting to, beginning to understand, but also more importantly, has led to him gaining money, and he's starting to live in the manner that he used to become accustomed. He'll be a very effective slumlord in the near future.
Isn't he already?
Apparently not. Apparently some of my renters are getting away rent free.
Okay, next online today we have is Izzy.
Hey, I'm playing Poppy, one half of Charm Squared, the unstoppable duo, and lead Cold Star, the band, so it's been an interesting ride so far.
And also online we have is M.
Hello, I play the ever-lovable Bolt, who is not the sharpest bolt in the shed, but is now very magical. Shiny, shiny magic.
And yes, you've now got this entire rabbit hole of XP to spend to become more powerful.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun to get into. but still don't piss him off. You will find out very probably too late that he gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, you are still the only person that Tatiana gives a warning to every time Tatiana sees you.
Yay.
And considering we know some of the things that Tatiana's met and identified, that's big dirty.
Yeah.
And still
Two thumbs up over here.
and still hasn't once listed Flogger as a threat.
That's hilarious. Even though we know he has an interdimensional mathematician as his
Right along.
totem right along, yeah.
Well, even though we're fairly certain he took out Superman.
Yeah, and that too. So what else is Bolt hiding? Who knows? That's find out next time on Shadowrun.
Ignorance is bliss.
Okay, so next up online today we have is Josh.
Hello, I'm Josh. I've been Flogger big burning troll. Flogger dumber than fence post, but hits people hard.
And yes, Flogger does have the half the party's worried about Flogger. but apparently some of the members of the party haven't.
I'm not worried about Flogger. Flogger's fine.
And at the table-ish, we have Ariadna.
Hi, I'm Shadow. The whole point of my name is that most of the time you can't see me. Such as now.
Wait, I hear a voice.
Yeah.
It speaks to me.
I'm hoping one of you took notes because I didn't get a chance to watch last session. I heard that you guys did a dance-off and almost got jailed. That's about it.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
I prefer more detail if there's more detail.
That comes up most sessions.
Yeah, see,
Most
Jeremy's
sessions
right.
involve a dance off and almost being in jail.
Jeremy's exactly right, which is why I want more detail.
So, who between Josh, M, and Izzy will be giving the what happened last session?
I bowed out gracefully in the dance-off when it became clear that I just couldn't continue, really, and I didn't want to ruin the show for everyone. So I waited patiently outside whilst other people got arrested or otherwise tucked away in the van to be shuffled off the drunk tank, and made friends with the Lone Star security guy at the front, and someone won the dance-off. Flogger, was it you? I feel like you should have won.
He got the door prize, remember?
But otherwise it was just uneventful. It was quite nice. It's my memory.
And I believe Bolt got runner-up. And I believe Womp got his ID burned.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do get that. Awkward.
Apparently showing it to the police and them scanning it was a very bad move on his part.
Quick question.
Yep.
Not game related. How do I defrost bread in the microwave again?
Put it in for 10 to 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's the bit where I always...
Go for 20.
Go for 20?
And then turn it over and put it in for 10.
Okay. If my bread ends up melted, you're in trouble.
10 usually doesn't give it enough. Okay, so yes, that is the very quick rundown of what happened last session. As they also worked with the Goblin Rocker crime team.
Well, they didn't mention that.
And we're in the music video, The Beast is Back.
They didn't mention that either. And besides,
Selective memory, and I wasn't up there for most of it, so.
Who won this competition? How did this competition start? Why weren't you guys contacting Desrin and Shadow and helping with Euphoria?
They tried and you were unavailable.
Sorry?
So there is a write-up online for this session.
Oh,
If you'd like me to read it out for what I wrote 2 weeks ago.
yes, please.
Unable to get Desrin or Shadow on the link due to the network still being down the next day, the others regroup at Desrin Tower, discovering that they had not returned since taking off with Euphoria. Backtracking to the hotel right before they discover it burnt out, with bodies of those left inside while it burnt down scattered around the building. It seemed no one was able to call the fire department, let alone pay for them to make it out to Redmond to put out the fire.
So you mean the hotel burnt down?
Yep.
Aww.
Unable to find any traces in the mess, they make it to Trixie's, who had also not heard from them, but did point out they had gone to ground. Maybe that was a good thing. Flogger's phone gets a call that Bolt was able to answer. It was an infomercial about a competition at Underworld 93 later that night for a chance to be a backup dancer in a music video. Taking the opportunity to pass the time while they waited for news from their missing friends, they join in the competition. Poppy and Talon both washed out early, with Poppy bowing out gracefully and Talon getting escorted out by the bouncer and thrown in the back of a Lone Star drunk tank wagon.
It's kind of what we expect from her. She lived up to her expectations.
Womp trying to sweet-talk the officer who's asked to produce ID, which then scans and finds issues with, and also ends up in the drunk tank.
Charm Square didn't work this time.
No, Charm Square doesn't work all the time.
Poppy attempts to sweet talk them, and he's pointed out they are on camera and it would take a bribe equal to 5 years' pay for them to look the other way, as would have with them being fired. So, i.e. they would have to spend over 100,000 credits for the police officer to say let them out against his orders.
Okay, fair.
Meanwhile, having the
Yeah,
competition...
and they didn't buy it. Oh, what?
Meanwhile, having the competition weeded out, Bolt and Flogger were offered the lead roles with Bolt bowing out, taking runner-up, and Flogger getting the door prize, becoming the lead dancer on Crime Time's latest music video. At the end of the night, Crime Time convinces the officers to let those arrested go and give Flogger a door trophy with a picture of him giving the trophy to Flogger visible when you open the door. While heading home, they hear how the new song has reached #1 overnight in Seattle. Flogger's dating app is rapidly filling up with fans, and Womp is occasionally getting fan messages who confuse him with Flogger. Crime Time's song is titled The Beast Is Back.
Sounds good so far.
And so that was all written up for people to read up on the online session.
I'm hoping that's not a dig at me because of the fact that I haven't had time to look up the online session.
Well, that's in the site. So
I'm happy to take the hit on that one as well. So, admittedly, I've missed the last 2 sessions, and so for me, one of the important factors is last time I was around, we captured Euphoria and taken it to the state house, and I believe we had a contact midway through the weekend from Mr. Johnson or Mr. Johnson's representative. But then, where's Euphoria and Shadow and Desmond now?
Okay, so what you missed out on was, in the previous session, Mr. Johnson, who had come and made the payment, was not a very good handoff on payment because he didn't notice he'd been followed. So, coming into the building...
he looked a beginner, yeah.
So that was part of the story, that reason why he got followed. The building manager gets killed by the team coming in. They set fire to the office, which no one puts out later, and then causes the building to burn down.
What about the 3 people who jumped out the window after Bolt?
We hadn't gotten to that point.
Oh, okay.
You're jumping ahead to the end of the story of that part.
I didn't realise that. You do know my memory sucks.
So then they start going door to door, kicking in doors and shooting people, looking for Euphoria. Bolt decides to try to run around various places before being suggested to look like Euphoria. So Bolt, looking like Euphoria, run downstairs, figures out the bottom level is closed off by a lion shaman, and so jumps out the 3rd floor window looking like Euphoria and face plants in the ground outside. Following Euphoria are 3 fans thinking if Euphoria can do it, we can do it, and they end up killing themselves in the concrete, at which point Womp comes out and saves their life. Where Flogger thinks he can take on Lion Shaman, gets one shot by Lion Shaman, and Womp also brings him back before his buddy takes over to make life easier for him. Because Womp is afraid of what Buddy might do to the rest of them.
I'm not.
At which point Flogger takes down Lion Shaman, so Lion Shaman's totem takes over and runs off.
Weak shaman. He ran away.
Hey,
Great.
Wolf Totem would also run away because if you're taken down, he would want to regroup and come back later. Lion Shaman also not dumb. So
I would have thought that my wolf shaman would have just continued to throw hands, but
if it felt overmatched, it would retreat. And Flogger taking down the Lion Shaman with one blow was an overmatch, even though he did the same to him. So it left, basically trying to find a way to come back and do it later. In the middle of all this, Shadow contacts Desrin using the direct link because at the moment the Matrix and all comms have gone down due to someone posting, Euphoria's in this building, in this hotel, please come get autographs signed.
Thank you, Jane.
And so what they don't know is many people showed up while the building was burning, and you did cause more deaths and loss of life due to your posting.
Sorry, Jane.
No. It didn't cause more death. Just promoted the Darwin Awards. If people are stupid enough to go to a burning view because there's a rumor of someone signing autographs, hey.
Hey, there's not a lot of bright people in the Barrens at this stage. And so that's the reason why no one could contact anyone, because the comms were all down. But Shadow had scaled down the outside of the building using the climbing harness she had brought with her, and got in the back of Desrin's van and took off. And that's all they knew what happened to Desrin and Shadow is they knew Desrin was in his building, and they knew Shadow was in the room with Euphoria, but they have no idea what happened to her because no one noticed.
Okay, cool. The reason it wasn't discussed was the fact that, from their perspective, Euphoria disappeared in the burning building, or possibly in the burning building.
Yeah, they had no evidence of what happened to Euphoria after the fact because they believe you got out, and then Desrin's missing, but that's all they know.
Have we got the charm squared yet?
Also on the before they could have the Lion Shaman's men continue mowing people down, we had Poppy and Al do the "we're damsels in distress, please carry us out." And apparently they were so charming that these guys had decided, well, we're here to take a celebrity, let's take these guys. And then they took them on a shopping spree until they ran out of money and got dumped as Charm Squad left them somewhere in downtown.
Yeah.
Hey, we were looking fabulous.
So they had...
Despite the fact that the clothes were crackers.
And considering the upmarket places they bought, that means that the corporation who paid for it know exactly where both of those people are.
Mm-hmm.
So
No problem. Yeah.
beware what you buy. And as there are currently 5 characters, there will be 5 dice to see just how well you have.
I was going to say, can I roll them?
So don't change it. We actually got a really good roll.
Yes, that looks fine. Please don't adjust.
I can't see.
Well, there were 5 white and 2 black.
No, that's fine then. It's just when you rolled them yesterday and last session for Star Wars, I went through that.
I didn't roll them last night.
I love how we're like, don't change it. Don't do it. Don't say anything. Don't touch.
One last question to me. According to the original contract that we done to stop with Euphoria and keep it out of the advertising or promotional contract for the weekend. So it's now Sunday night. The job is finished, or will you hand it back or let her out any time from now?
Well, you can't really let her out because she's comatose.
And we can't wake her up.
But technically, based on time, the job finished. Is that right?
Would you like to have advanced to the end of Sunday and dropping her off? That is
No. There's an important piece of information here that's being left out. So, when they get into the limo after being carried out of the horrible apartment buildings by the 2 sleazy guys who are hoping that they're going to get something more.
4 sleazy guys, actually.
4 sleazy guys than just taking these 2 girls on a shopping spree. They spot some of the rival company's drinks in the back of the limo.
Oh, yes.
And
Not the rival company's drinks,
sorry.
the actual company that had hired us.
Sorry,
food stuff.
Sorry, my brain.
All good.
I can't remember the names of it.
Called Amber Gel.
That's it, Amber Gel.
We were hired by a rival company, probably.
That's right. Yeah. So the company that Euphoria was meant to represent. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
That was why they were trying to get her, because they'd already paid for her.
Yeah. Yeah. So we figure these are Amber Gel guys. Anyway, Elle, being Elle, opens it up and goes to take a swig. But Poppy, having a moment of weird magic going on, I can't remember what the reason for the weird magic was.
Apparently Poppy's magic's weird and likes to just give her glimpses.
Yeah. It turned out to be very handy because she could see these kind of microscopic insects in...
Not microscopic.
Oh, not microscopic.
Microscopic would require you to see quite small.
I'm just
small.
remembering these details.
Basically, we're seeing ants covering it.
Yeah. And these ants, Poppy gets the feeling, are not good for magic people. Harmless to non-magic people.
They bit me all over. So,
but
yeah.
not good to magic people. So it looks like if Amber Gel was successful, magic people who would consume Amber Gel would end up not having a good time.
Okay, so to say what actually happened at that point was when Talon was going to eat it with a glob of this food stuff. Poppy sees it crawling with insects and tries to bat it away because it was looking very disgusting. And in that batting it away, Poppy gets it all over her hand and starts feeling being bitten by insects everywhere. And turns out that Poppy was actually bitten with bites all over her hand, even though Talon couldn't see a thing and was annoyed that someone knocked the food out of Talon's hand and said, "Don't eat."
Yeah, that's what actually happened, but I have a very vague and simple memory of what went on. I'm sorry.
You got the more emotional of how it was, and the thing is, they didn't really pass a lot of that on.
No, so that's the important thing. Right now, nobody aside from Poppy really knows about this. Talon only knows that Poppy knocked it out of her hand and said, "No, touchy, touchy. Here, have some vodka." And I guess what we don't know is that she did get a sample, I think.
No, she didn't collect anything at all.
Oh, she didn't?
It was left at that point and was not returned to.
Okay, I wanted a sample, but that didn't happen.
Yes.
That's what happened. That's why I was looking at you. I'm like, did
you wanted to get a sample? You hadn't got around to doing it.
And they're
I
not
suggested getting it this session.
And they're not wearing the same clothes now, are they? So there's no way of getting any that might have gotten onto that. Yeah. Okay. So, getting a sample this session. So we don't want to fast forward. I don't think just yet. I think.
No, I was simply asking where we were with the original timeline of the original mission.
Last session finished at the end of Saturday night.
Yeah.
With this session being Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
okay. Currently Shadow and Desmond are driving around, and we found a safe house with unconscious Euphoria. Is that the situation?
I'm assuming you're driving around because you don't have a safe house?
Yeah.
After that?
My other question was to confirm. So it definitely wasn't Friday night because we stole her on the Friday morning.
You stole her on the Friday. We had the attack on the building was on the Saturday.
Okay, because
it was on the Friday evening, and Saturday they were trying to find you, but they couldn't.
Right.
And that was the dance off on the Saturday night.
Okay, all right. So that's where.
And so you guys had an entire day of driving around trying to figure out what to do.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right. That's well, I don't know about trying to figure out what to do. I think we knew what we were doing, which was trying to hide from everyone and locate our guys. Mm-hmm. After which we'll probably see them on video and know that they've been hanging out at a dance club and maybe be able to track them down. Maybe the net will be up.
That also then means that we no longer have access to the Faraday cage coffin that we were keeping Euphoria in. Is that
I
right?
think I did take her down in the coffin.
You took her down in the
Oh,
coffin.
we have got the coffin. Yeah. I wasn't certain how he got her out of the apartment. So.
She
got
basically
like held down the building, sneaky.
Right. Okay.
with Euphoria tied up in the Faraday cage.
Hey, I got skills.
Who is that?
That basically went from building to back a van and into the van without anyone else knowing what was happening.
Not an annoying nuisance all the time.
All the good things then, because that explains why we haven't been followed, but it's still worth keeping moving.
And all the news talks about how Euphoria jumped out a third-story window and then ran off into the Barrens like a mad woman.
Bolt did an awesome job of running away and pretending to be a crazy idol.
Okay.
And there's rumours that Euphoria likes to hang out in the sewers also going around.
Can we explain how she disappeared?
Okay, so come Sunday morning, you guys have finally gotten news from the others in the form of a music video with Flogger and Bolt being prominent behind the Goblin Rocker crime time. Considering how small he is compared to the others, it is quite amusing. And then there is the Surfer Boys doing the same dance moves as Flogger and Bolt, either side of them. There's about 20 of those surfer dudes dancing in rhythm.
Why is that disturbing?
Well, they look very clonish, and they remind you an awful lot of George.
Oh.
Because it is. That's because it is.
You mean they look almost identical to George?
Yeah, they call themselves brothers all the time.
Are they all named George? Is this another Percy's thing?
Well, they don't refer themselves as George, but they do confuse who's who at times. Thank you.
Do you need anything else?
Okay, so yes, and you do realise that you can now get signals in and out of Redmond as the hunt for Euphoria has died down a bit now that there's been no further sighting in the last 24 hours.
We should match up with the other guys.
Yeah, I think everyone meeting up seems good. I have no complaints. I'm not wearing the tracking clothes anymore. Mostly because
Oh, did you ditch your fancy clothing? Did you?
No, sort of.
Sort of.
Look, there's only a certain degree with which through other. So, yeah. I'm not the lowest intelligence character here. I'm not going to make decisions to get us all followed. I know not everything we do is above board.
But hey, I'm sure you can pay a hacker to scrub all the traces out of your clothes.
I would love to do that at one point.
Or you could just ask
With someone
Paul,
else,
she can
with-
probably help you.
Sounds great. I was going to say, or use someone else's money to pay a hacker to do that. Seems to be my modus operandi at the moment. Not
Paul needs some practice, so you can probably just be like, hey, can you try this?
I love these clothes, but don't want people to know I'm wearing them. Thanks.
Hollow tinker around with that in the background if you can.
How do you know that they're tracked though?
Because they're
Sure.
fancy clothing.
We rocked up and everyone said, oh my god, they're going to track you.
Oh, okay. Have we met up already then?
Some of us did when we came back because the dance party.
Hollow actually flagged for you.
Yeah.
That was last session because Hollow picked up that they were broadcasting all their vitals.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
Curious to know what my vitals are. What's my chlorophyll level at them? Curious.
Depends on perspective, but I guess Sean.
Hollow rattles off some number in your ear.
It'll be along the lines of blood alcohol level, oxygenation, heartbeat, perspiration, GPS.
Look, there was a sudden spike in your heart rate when I started talking to you.
Hey, look, just as a half plant, half human, I'm curious. My stats are like, does the plant make there more carbon dioxide in my blood than all? Because, you know, but like, which part of me is doing the breathing? I'm just curious. These things are fun.
I think it's an interesting question.
Hey, and because it is not standard, it will definitely have flagged on the corporate thing of capture and dissect.
Yay! Just what I want.
Well, you are the only one in the setting who currently has that. So you have just painted a big target on your character's life.
I already pissed off the Crimson Crush. Why am I doing this again?
Well, you've just told a food company that you have unusual pheromones and antibodies in your system that no one has seen before.
Yeah. Alrighty, cool. Wait, unusual pheromones. Does a man can pull poison ivy? I'm curious now. Kiss someone, have me fall into my trance. Alright. This could be interesting.
Well, they may become obsessed with you without you actually having any control over them whatsoever.
But would they do anything I ask?
Probably not.
Damn it. Well done, also point.
So those guys at Tower now, or?
So, where did the other guys end up after the dance-off?
I think we were heading home after the drunk tank, weren't you?
I think so.
We
We kind of just like ended the session going, and we all got let off scot-free.
all thanks to Crime Time not wanting a bad publicity. Gotta thank a Goblin Rocker.
I'll think
was
of
very
Goblin
kind of
Rocker.
Well, wouldn't you not want bad publicity when you have a when your band's playing? If you got good publicity, you don't want to muddy it with bad publicity.
Fair.
Okay, so you have heard through the grapevine that the Lion Shaman is actually goes by the name Pride.
Of course he does.
By the name what? Sorry, I missed that.
Pride.
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 Oh, Pride. Oh dear.
Pride of Lion.
And in the magic community, he is quite well known as a deadly opponent.
But clearly not one for names. Alright.
Man, I wish I could have gone. I wish I could have helped Walker go toe to toe with him. That sounds like a fun time.
When you think about it, he was probably named by his mother. So it's usually the parents to blame.
Well,
Or is it not like a stage name?
more likely Pride would be a street name.
Well, look, I was just pointing out, I know a lot of people out there who have names that everyone's like, oh, you gave that to yourself or it's a nickname. You're like, no, that's what my parents stuck on my birth certificate.
Destiny.
My parents.
Starlight. Pride.
Okay, so we've technically got to hold Euphoria for another 12 hours or so. Is that the impression?
Yeah.
You believe
8 hours? 6 hours?
you believe you have about 2 to 3 hours to hold it for until midday. Of course, you've got to figure out how to let it go, because even if you just open the Faraday cage, there's no guarantee someone will find her who won't kill her.
So,
No, okay.
oh, sorry.
I was going to say, is she awake at this stage?
She is not.
Or,
Completely
Yeah,
comatose.
and that's because of the drugs that we've given her, or is there something else that's keeping her unconscious?
They found using a form of foresight, they used a trigger word that shut her down completely.
And I have questions to go on from that when Jeremy's...
Yeah, but we haven't, so therefore we don't know how to actually wake her up again at this stage.
No, you do not.
Mm-hmm.
In the preceding time while we've been in the van,
Mm-hmm.
can I flashback the last so many hours where I've tried various investigations and spells? I'm happy to roleplay them in real time now, but I mean, can it have been done while we're driving around this van?
Possible. It's just harder to do it while traveling, and you're also trying not to draw attention to yourself. So, calling on magic can draw spirits to you and other magicians.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it electronically, obviously you're dealing with the clogged line.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it electronically. I'm thinking more of a case of, presumably after we've driven away from all the stuff for an hour or two, because what we've been driving for at least...
You spent a day driving.
Yeah, 24 hours. So we could have gone in one direction for 4 hours and just stopped to fill up type thing. So we could be well away from the thing where magic is not necessarily going to stand out. Would I know a suburb where magic is not going to be quite as obvious and standy outy as other places?
You may want to do it at, say, the next to the Magic University.
Yeah.
But the downside is that is where the
Stone?
No, the guardian of Euphoria, who just lost her, works.
I thought that was Stone.
I can't remember the name, I'm sorry.
Okay, so Stone is the magician, Osprey is the sided up guy.
Sorry, I was just trying to answer the question.
It is just one place where my memory actually works.
Yeah.
So I was trying to be helpful.
Memory's a little fuzzy due to pain.
Yeah. So I would presume, though, he wouldn't be there right now. He'd be out looking for Euphoria, wouldn't he?
Or he might be using the resources of the university to look for her.
Okay, good point. So
Right. It might be a base operation where he can conduct effective astral searches.
are there other places, though, that would similar to the university where it would suit, but it wouldn't be Stone? Would I know enough about the city, or could I ask Desrin, or...
From a magic perspective, you can find active mages from a distance, simply because magic will light up around them.
Yeah. But, I presume, this being a magical world, there are places where magic people hang out and do their thing, where it might be easier to blend in.
Well, that's where the university is the highest concentration of magic being used in weird ways.
It doesn't have to be the highest concentration place.
A lot of other places, it's not well hidden. You may want to do it on a corporate land, because then you're only dealing mainly with that corporate, trying to find out who's using magic in their area, because most others won't try to go into it.
A good option might be a corporation that really doesn't give a fig about where Euphoria is and what she's up to.
Well, except of course that corporate mages might be interested in unauthorized magic happening in their vicinity.
Yeah, that's
And if you're not doing it in a corporate space, then you've got the people already hunting Euphoria, looking for unusual magic and trying to investigate it.
I get all that. I'm presuming, though, there's somewhere in the whole of Seattle where I might be able to go where it'd be safer to do magic. I presume life goes on.
You can pick what you think is going to be the best location. How effective that'll be, we'll find out.
That's what I'm trying to ask. And it seems to just be, no, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad.
Well, it may be that you're picking the least worst of options.
Well, that's what I'm trying to ask. And Martin's like, oh, you could go to the university, but Stone's there. And I'm like, well, I wasn't asking. I was asking, can I try and determine a location where Stone isn't? Whether that's a roll of the dice, if I can find my bloody dice, because they've gone for a walk, or whether that's a role play. I don't mind what I need to do. I'd like to try and do that so that I can see if there's a way to unlock comatose Euphoria.
And I was just trying to advance the time because of the players who are currently here tonight.
Look, if you want to skip this bit, fine, we can skip this bit. I don't mind.
Yes, that was partly what I was trying to do because I said we were on this Sunday, not the Saturday.
Alright.
Yeah.
Skip it.
Well, good. So basically the end result is that you made an attempt to find some medical solution, but it was for whatever reason not particularly successful. Okay. I'm assuming that we haven't actually tried stimulants on Euphoria as yet, because hey, we were perfectly happy to keep her on conquer while we were think. So, but yeah, as I say, I guess when it comes to within a couple hours of potentially letting her go, then we can try and inject some stimulant into her medical coffin Faraday cage.
Okay, so putting stimulants into her doesn't wake her up.
It probably wouldn't. She's not supposed to be a real girl. When we did our investigations, there's no human in there.
Can we tell her, I was wrong, you're the real Euphoria, I'm not.
Declan's still working out he's starting the non-medicated, which is why we go through him to get these stimulants. So, like a player, I hope he wasn't that way, but...
Okay, you still feel as if something shut her down mentally.
Oh, she's a robot, can you hack?
Which means you're not exactly sure what will bring her back, because you're not sure what really shut her down. Because there was someone
I think we asked this question like really early on when she first got shut down, whether Hollow could do that. But I think I need the kill switch to know how she was shut down, or have built it myself. I think was the answer.
There was someone who used a electronic button push when you were leaving with her. And sent out some sort of signal, so it may or may not be related to either the kill word or the kill button, or both.
At the end of the contract, were we supposed to just let Euphoria go, or were we meeting up with Mr. Johnson to return her?
You were letting her go, and you were going to get the payment once you let her go. The rest of the payment.
Okay. So, alternate option then, if we can't wake her up, stuff would be to try and contact Mr. Johnson, potentially, possibly through Mr. Fisker, and say, we're ready to ready to drop her back. Where do we meet to get our payment? Recognising it's not quite what the original plan was, but if we play ignorant, then possibly we can dump her over there, but it's not our problem anymore.
Okay, so you do get him on the line, and he does ask, why can't you just let her go?
Well, it's not our responsibility to explain what you've been doing to the time the wives have been missing. And I mean, we've already created a bit of a false trail by ensuring there were rumours of her gallivanting around the barracks. But, okay. If she missed her final appointment, then we can take her back to you.
He doesn't want Euphoria to show up connected with him as part of this. That's why he's paid for the middleman. Otherwise, he would have just taken her himself. He says the final part of the deal was for her to walk free unharmed at the end of your kidnapping to get the rest of the payment.
Well, okay, well, I guess we'll arrange for her to reappear down in downtown or somewhere, I guess.
He would be let him know when you've done so, and he'll keep track of the media so he can confirm that she's been freed. He will do the payment once she's back on the scene.
This is probably going to come back to bite me, but noting that there were bugs in the liquid that this group is pushing, I'm just wondering if there's any other links to magic background that might be causing the issue. Can I look through the veil into the can't think of the name of the other side.
You want to look at
the world?
Sorry?
You want to look astral?
Yes, there we go. That's the word I'm trying to come to.
Okay,
yes, I would like to look at astral on around her.
Okay, so
I'm nervous about this.
we're going to copy for you to do so. That is quite a few dice to roll.
Hopefully they're all green and yellow.
That's what I'm hoping. My magic skill is good, but
I do fear that most of the night will be red and purple.
don't tell me that. That's not what I want.
Well, your chances of rolling something good with your dice is pretty high. As you do have a lot of magic.
A lot of magic which has something bad also happen to be high.
Okay, so it was a whole... so yes, you can activate your astral. You have enough white to do so.
Okay. I'll look into the astral plane and see what is going on.
Okay.
Anything I can ascertain.
Okay, looking at it, you can see that it does look as if Euphoria's spirit is in distress.
Okay.
The body looks like it is not doing well, considering it hasn't had any nutrition for the last 2 days.
Yes.
Or water.
I would have done that, but
You can't
we had to
eat.
skip.
I would have thought that the body will still be able to intravenously carried through the med system.
You could have done it through med packs, yes, but it hasn't been functioning properly.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying she's healthy, but I'm saying like the body should not have deteriorated too much. I'm more than happy to cure it out there and on its way down, but yeah, from a physical perspective, the body, yeah. Not saying she's been on a health trip for the last week, it's become 48 hours, but
But if Euphoria needed any form of medication or anything like that, hasn't had that because you didn't know.
that can happen, yes, absolutely.
So there is some, looking at it, looks like the body hasn't been doing well.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can tell other than the fact that like both her spirit and her body are in distress?
Also looks like she might be dealing with withdrawal as well.
Okay.
And has some cyberware, not as much as you were expecting.
Interesting. Okay. Well, is there anything I can try to do to help to her spirit? Like that, and the spirit's still attached to her body. Like there's no separation or anything like that that's preventing her from like regaining consciousness.
Just the body doesn't seem to be responding.
Yeah. Okay. Can I communicate with her spirit at all, or is it just what I can see?
That's just all you can tell. It's sort of like reading auras.
Yeah.
You can't really talk to an aura.
Yeah. Understood. Okay. I'll stop looking astrally and try to communicate that all to the party.
So now it was Shadow that did the legwork that found this Hill Creek Fortnight.
It was.
So Jacob comes to the Shadow and said, well, hey, did your sources tell you how to get it out of the
I think
Hill Creek effect?
did a spell last session. I think I did the spell was kind of similar to the other one. The one that told me to shut her down was one that was asking how to start her back up again. I cannot remember the results of the spell, unfortunately.
You didn't end up getting anything that seemed to help her start back up again.
I guess at this stage, my instinct would be to try to cast that spell to figure out whether or not there's an answer there.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's technically, I think, clairvoyance or something like that, but you can do clairvoyance until the next 10 minutes to see if you can figure out in the next 10 minutes or 10 hours how to bring her back to, and then get her the medical needs seen to, so that she's not in such a bad way.
You can.
Yeah, are we able to like do searches online to find any addictions or any kind of gossip around Euphoria that might help us? Or ask Jane if she knows anything about it.
Only addiction you got was the soft serve that she normally has every time before a performance.
Interesting.
That she has her own recipe for and her own ingredients for.
Well, no, she just comes into the shop privately, right? She's still using the shop software instead of machine.
Well, no one really knows what goes into it.
She has her belongings on her, right? Search her belongings for anything, piece of paper, data pad, something that might give me a clue as to what she puts into this soft serve, how she makes it up.
She doesn't have any ingredients listed on her.
Okay. if I do a spell, I'll try and figure out what's in the soft serve. Let's see if that tells me. If I'm allowed to make a spell.
Then we'll go and get a couple curves of soft serve from the local, if it was a stuff attack, I can't remember off the top of my head, you'll go downstairs, but you'll go to the local restaurant that she likes to use, and pick up a couple curves of ice cream, or soft serve, and it might be the standard, we don't know, so...
Well, it was a Mexican restaurant.
That's right, yeah.
So yes, you are able to get a drive-through and get the soft serve from there. Shadow does do a divination to find out if you can find any special ingredients for it.
And how to turn it back on. More
As
how
I
to
say,
turn
at the
it back
moment, I'd be
on.
wanting to run a bloody tube into her stomach to feed her. Is that?
I thought that that's what we did when we first discovered, Martin first pointed out that she needed hydration and that. I'm damn sure that even if we put an IV on her, that we were dripping her water and other things.
It's a recognition of the fact that he's getting water and sustenance, he's not getting exactly what he needs, i.e. medication and or the drugs that she's getting a DT for at the moment.
I understand that as well. But there's that other component of when you're having detox, you need to be well hydrated. It makes detox easier.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Okay, so, you do find that Euphoria's name is coming up as Amanda Lockhart, which is not something that has been advertised.
So new information.
Which was in her stuff.
So when you say we find that, how do we find that?
You said you'd gone through her
Go
stuff.
searching through her stuff?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, so rather than a spell, yeah.
And that she's currently working on a show called Jungle Huntress.
Okay, so she's got aspirations of her own.
And that is about to go into production in Aslan.
Where's that?
South America.
Mexico.
So she's probably originally from somewhere around there maybe, or she's interested in being there, or she thinks there's a market there maybe.
She's most likely being hired as an actress to appear in something. Because that's her career.
Yep.
And if they want to take her to a place they're paying, she'll go.
Yep.
Yeah. She's doing the equivalent of Rhiannon in Battleship.
I was going to say it's a very specific reference.
Basically appears in a show but doesn't really do much. So also that has her actual birthday in there, which most of her fans have been trying to find out, and puts her at 21 years of age.
Aren't we lucky?
So she's young, popular idol.
And she's been a singer for at least 5 years.
Oh wow.
So she does singing, movies, TV shows.
Unfortunately, if we look at other records, we'll find that she's been 21 for the last 5 years as well. Birthday keeps changing.
She identifies as 21. Can't argue with that.
Okay, so as far as you can tell from your magical side of things, she should be awake, and it's not really giving you an answer to how to fix things. You're not sure if your words actually shut her down. You think it more shocked her. than anything else.
I'm pretty sure the buttons that Stone had shut her down. I just want to find a way, if there's a way around to open her up.
I have a cunning plan. It's probably going to go awfully, but I have a cunning plan.
And what is Bolt's cunning plan?
Bolt is Mr. Cunning.
We set a trap for Stone. You would think he would still have the kill switch on him, right? Because he's looking for her, and presumably it has an on-off switch. This is Bolt. Thoughts about it? Anyway, we set a trap for him and try and take him out. Like, you do your magic-y, make a person look like another person thing on someone in the party again.
As Bolt is saying these thoughts out loud, Shadow is getting a very noticeable look of, you have no idea how powerful this mage is, do you? She doesn't say it out loud, she's just kind of like, I think Bolt doesn't realise that this mage could squash me with his little finger. When we compare power to power, I don't have a womp at my side right now. So
I mean, if you tried to explain it to Bolt, probably wouldn't understand unless you explained it to me when I was smart.
Yeah, we don't have a womp to help with that either.
Technically, he hasn't dropped the spell, so you're still smart.
Oh, I'm still smart. Yes.
You're on true intelligence.
Well, in
Yay!
which case, I would explain more kindly that without womp, magically, Alex Stone could wipe the floor with me, clean the toilet, give the pipes a good go around, and then leave me out in the gutter to dry like the dirty old mop he thinks I am. I would need magical backup. Look, I would place my faith in Puppy, except in terms of magic, we would probably be better off trying to physically ambush him. It would utterly depend on his magical defenses, though, and whether you could get past those.
And it was the the street Sam who had the kill switch.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Stone who had it.
It was the street Sam.
All right. Well.
Whereas
Okay. Well, I mean, I was talking more a physical surprise because I knew he was a mage, and they're typically weaker to. I say typically, but to Shadowrun. Typically weaker to physical, but we can all Bolt and Flogger can beef ourselves up.
Yeah. I'm not sure what defenses he's got up. I'm not against the idea. I'm just saying it's not an idea we would execute without maybe trying to figure out what his defenses are first.
So, from a Shadowrun perspective, you see yourselves as just beginning runners, with a tier above you being experienced runners, and a tier above that being prime runners. You put both of these guys in the prime runner territory, if not above that. And
I mean,
each
it was
tier
an
is
idea.
about
I just wanted to float it.
each tier is about 5 years of experience.
Ideas are welcome. Brainstorming is how we get places.
And okay, Desmond can expand upon the idea potentially. I could either over the lines, is he still on his bike run to go and get the ice cream and come back again, or when he gets back, it's been discussed on that, and the ice cream did magically wake her up like smelling salt. Would be that, well, we don't necessarily need to actually capture, kill, or deal with the opposing wizards.
No. We just need to.
If something happens and Euphoria unfortunately gets caught in the crossfire and then we leave, then hey.
Well, yeah, that I was going to say.
Euphoria has been found, unfortunately, she's she died in the situation. But hey, mission finished before we're back in the open again with no money.
Desrin coming from his, like, not my problem, don't want to deal with it type perspective, yeah, we could just dump her in the vicinity of
Their tower.
their tower. They'll find her. Hopefully they won't find us. Who knows?
Yeah, no, but we need something to. We can't just dump the body or the comatose without an obvious explanation as to how she suddenly did not survive her kidnapping.
Look.
We won't get paid if she's not apparently alive when we release her.
My guess is that the rest of the group aren't interested in her welfare. So Shadow's just gonna stand by and wait for instructions because she doesn't want to hold everyone up.
Jane is highly invested in her welfare.
My
The other option would be that we've got people that can look like Euphoria, at least for a short period of time. So
I was gonna go
the
there.
sort of thing that they could go in the open, and then
So
the sudden rush of all the fans arriving to see that she's safe, and unfortunately Euphoria gets crushed in the crush.
so you're gonna kill her?
Oh, no. Okay, if she left comatose, that's
So-
all right, hold on.
For a second, I thought you were on the same
She was
path.
obviously alive when we left.
For almost a whole second, I thought we were on the same path, and then you're like, then she can get crushed. I'm like, nope, we're not on the same path at all. And we generally never are, which is fine. It makes life interesting. My suggestion was I could mask as Euphoria, have Euphoria hidden in the van. Somebody could say, I found Euphoria, she's in this comatose state all of a sudden. I want to bring her in to Mr. Stone, bring pretend comatose a shadow within vicinity of Stone and Osprey, and see if Osprey presses the button to see if she lights up and starts working. If we can provoke him into pressing that button, it might activate Comatose 1, in which case we just have to beat the shit out of him and get his device off him before he presses it again. But that's Shadow's. You know, I actually wouldn't mind helping this girl. It sounds like she's a good person who hasn't done anyone any wrong, who's been taken over by these evil sons of words I probably shouldn't say. And I think she should go to bloody South America and star in her thing that she wrote and fulfill her dreams as much as she possibly can, instead of being manipulated by masochistic, profiteering assholes who seem to think that if you can get hold of a vulnerable person, you can do whatever you want with them. I'd rather kick their asses and get killed doing it.
It's called real life.
Yeah, no, Shadow hasn't
Always
lived in
behind
real life.
Shadow's impassioned speech here, so.
And you do think that if you had a decent hacker, you could probably see if her tech could turn her back on.
What do you mean if we had a decent hacker? We've got Hollow, right? SoCal's coming back soon. It's not today, is it?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't upped Hollow's skills yet, so
I
I'm not as high level as SoCal.
Someone's neglecting their character. Joking.
Not so much neglecting, but
Seriously, was joking. Absolutely. You're looking at someone who doesn't update regularly through a lot of things. You could easily throw that shit back on me, and it would stick.
I think also from a non-hacker perspective, what we've seen, Hollow was pretty good, and like it achieved everything that needed to be done at any time. So Hollow's already looked and realised it's beyond capability, so it's not unreasonable for the uninitiated to recognise that, hang on,
What about Sophie?
it's going to be done.
Sophie is as good as SoCal. Sophie will actually do things for free if she sees a cause in it. Like, Sophie, I believe, is on the same wavelengths as Shadow. She does things for money. She doesn't mind killing arseholes. But there's times where she's like, this shit ain't right.
Okay, so
That's why I'm a Shadowrunner. It gives me the power to choose when shit ain't right.
You contact Sophie?
Yeah.
Yes, she is available. She could probably meet you in about 1 or 2 hours, she says, once she detangles herself from her current job.
That would be brilliant. Can we do this one like as invisible as possible? I can't afford to be seen. Can you meet me in a van?
Sure, she can bring her van.
Yeah, that's alright. So if you park next to my van, I'll get into your van.
Just confirming, Martin. The ice cream didn't actually smell insults and work right, did it?
It did not. But it was delicious. Especially considering there are no animal products at all in the soft serve.
Mm-hmm. No, they can't. I didn't expect it to work, but I figured we better double check. It'd be annoying to go through all this and find out that, oh yeah, she woke up a couple of hours ago and ate ice cream. That was fine.
Martin would do that to us, so I get why you're asking the question.
Okay, so yes, you managed to arrange with Sophie to meet in a parking garage away from Desmond Tower.
I will meet Sophie. If anyone wants to come, they're welcome to. I'm not expecting.
Well, are we taking the Euphoria?
I gather we're staying on the move because as long as we've got her, we're going to be at risk. So yeah, I would meet her. I trust Sophie, and if she stabs me in the back and brings lots of people who... I don't tell her that I've got Euphoria, I just tell her I've got a problem.
Obviously, Hollow takes note of the fact that you might trust Sophie, but she doesn't believe in Hollow.
No, I do believe in Hollow, but Hollow, as Martin just said, Hollow recognised it was beyond her current capacity. And that's the only reason we're going to Sophie.
Also, Hollow doesn't specialise in cyberware.
Yeah.
Yeah, more like physical specialty as well as some hacking.
Yeah. You're my fighter in the tower.
Yeah.
And with that.
Okay, so...
that was the deal after all, right?
That's right, exactly.
Pulling up in the parking garage, you see Sophie's already there with her van, which is slightly bigger than Desrin's, and does look low to the ground, partly because it's also Sophie's portable server.
I'm impressed. Seems like fun.
It also has the launch chutes on the top and sides for her drones.
It's kind of scary, but also cool.
Well, she specialises in technology more than physically hacking things.
Makes sense.
And so she normally operates vehicles, drones, and works as a mechanic more than she does just hacking.
And I probably not looked recently at some of Jason's vans.
Well, your vans may be impressive, but it's generally not designed to take a lot of tech on it.
No, but it's good. Everyone's starting to get into the drone side of the house, so...
I think we might set sentries, so Flogger maybe one end of the street, and then Bolt maybe the other end of the street.
Flogger gets the suggestion to go to the end of the street.
And stand sentry, and gets instructions on what kind of things to look for.
Do we still have a Josh?
I'm here, sorry, I'm just eating dinner.
Does Floppy just can follow the instructions?
Yeah, all this planning stuff is definitely not Flo's forte. You just sit in the corner and he gets told something, he will go do it.
Okay.
i.e. down to the end of the group.
Yep.
I'd like to call it problem solving more than planning. We've got to get a non-comatose, I think.
And what about Bolt?
Certainly wasn't planned.
I mean, like, I don't know about everyone else, but, like, Bolt feels like all the stuff he's done this weekend is to, like, to protect this person. So he kind of wants to, like, stick around and make sure, like, we get over the line on this.
Yeah, no, he's not being sent away. He's just saying, hey, while, as part of that protection of
Part of that
Euphoria,
protection, yeah.
make sure we don't get
Ambush.
Now we have to stop. In order for Kofi to do her thing. We want to have lookout if anything comes towards us. So.
Alright, well,
Yeah,
Bolt will go, like, full sentry mode, so, like, like, wolf, like, so best hearing, best sniffing, tracking, I could even, like, buff myself. It could be a good opportunity to use my new skills.
You bring up your astral perception.
Ooh, I don't know if I've done that yet. Yeah, let's do it.
I would highly recommend that.
Okay, so for you that is 2 yellow. Didn't we know we upgraded it to 3, didn't we?
For primal?
Yeah.
I thought we made it 4, but it's still saying 3 on my screen.
No, it says 2 on this one, so that means we must have just upgraded it to 3. So just seeing if I refresh, will it get it? Because it's been... I had to wait for the update to come through.
It still says 3 for me. So
I
thought I upgraded it to 4. Brawl and Primal cutting to 4.
You did Brawl to 4, you did Primal to 3.
Oh, I thought I said do Primal twice, but oh no, I was sorry, I can't do it twice, can I?
You can't do it twice.
Yeah, okay, no, sorry, that's why I didn't do it twice, because I can't do it twice, that's fine.
Okay, so you did get a triumph and you did get some more.
And
it didn't
That was
cost
like
you
a pretty
anything.
good roll, actually, hey.
Okay, so yes, bringing it up, you are able to sustain your ability to see astrally. And it's making sure there's nothing else I need to add to it. Where's my magic? There it is.
Can I augment with that as well, or does that need to be a separate roll?
That would be a separate roll to augment.
Okay.
Has Kofi got in the back of Desmond's van where the coffin is, or do we need the coffin moved into her van? Although I don't think it'll be moved to a coffin.
I think the first move will be to get into Sophie's van and explain the situation, and then decide should we be doing this somewhere.
And Sophie was waiting to talk before she got out of her van because basically she doesn't know.
Desmond definitely stays in the guy to his van, so get away to be made quickly.
That's the idea. As I visualise things, our vans are currently parked back to back. I open up the back of our van, she opens up the back of her van, I step from our van into her van, close the door. I ask Poppy to do astral duty nearby, if she's okay with doing that. We've got Flogger and Bolt on either end of the street, because I'm expecting we'll be ambushed any minute now.
Bolt's also sentry astral on the side of the street.
Yeah. Sentry's fine for Poppy watching the astral.
Okay. Yeah, no, just be on guard.
Poppy is physically still in the van?
Yeah,
Yeah, after that.
And then I will do a check for Poppy to see if she can get it up. Because there's always a chance you have to use corruption to get your spell off.
Well, I'm not expecting you to corrupt yourself as a player. I'm happy
Okay,
to.
so yes, you managed to get Astral off as well. So both Poppy and Bolt are seeing hundreds of spirits above Redmond. There's normally maybe 2 to 5 in the air at one time, and you're seeing hundreds.
Well, that's deeply disconcerting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Bolt has done this before, but even Bolt's like intuition is just like, oh, that doesn't look right.
Are they recognizable types of spirits? Or are they all the same type, or are they various breeds?
The spirits are so varied, you're lucky to identify 2 identical spirits out of the hundreds.
This is bad.
Okay.
Basically, you think lots of different people are currently searching the Barrens for something.
Yeah.
Probably Euphoria.
Stone.
And hey, a company could quite easily pay mages of the world to come to this area astrally and look for stuff, or send spirits to do so.
I have a feeling that we should start driving out of the Barrens as soon as possible.
They may also be looking all over Seattle.
But, as I said...
On the plus side, it meant that when Shadow was trying to do her magic the previous night, it was probably well covered.
Yeah. As I said, I have a feeling we should probably be still on the move, but we can't do that just now.
Okay, so Sophie opens the door at that point and lets Shadow in,
Yep.
going, what's up?
I will close the door and I will say, before I start explaining, this is the kind of trouble you may not want to be into.
I'm sure if it's a lot of trouble, you'll make it worth my time.
I always try to make it worth your time. I'll start off with explaining, have you heard of, and I'll explain Osprey and Stone to her.
Yes, she knows Osprey pretty well. He is a bane in any run she's involved in that he's there for.
Well,
Because he's rarely on her team.
let's just put it this way. We're about to piss him off even more than we've already done so.
Well, that could be quite expensive, considering it can actually cost a lot of drones to replace.
Is my bank account good for expensive?
Possibly.
Look,
But hey, as long as you replace what gets lost, she will call that a good starting point.
I don't know I've got all the funds to replace all that expensive equipment, but I will work off my debt.
She says it's unlikely to beat them in a one-on-one situation.
I don't want to.
She's actually seen him take down a whole team of runners.
I'm not interested in heading him one-on-one. So I got a girl, you probably can guess who, let's just not name names right now. The girl looks like she's been enslaved, drugged. Someone's been using drugs to keep her in line. I would like to, we were given a job, basically, to remove her from a situation for a certain amount of time. We kind of want to fulfill that job, because we really need that money, because frankly, I'll probably spend all of it replacing your cameras, and your drones. But at the same time, I suspect there's something more going on in Scoobyville than the level of hinkiness I originally suspected. Now, did Poppy tell me about the bugs in the amber gel?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll explain amber gel, the bugs, how we've removed our
Just
girl.
explaining it, Sophie's reached for her can of amber gel and is taking a slug.
Yeah.
Well, it's only just gone on sale, so she hasn't gotten into that yet.
So basically, I'll give you the story of
Okay.
everything, where we're up to.
She thinks the amber gel stuff is just crazy. Good thing she hasn't tried it yet.
Yeah, look, Eve, warn your magic friends not to touch it with a 50-foot pole.
Okay,
Right.
so she does have a couple of setups in her van that may be able to give you some insight into your charge. But you might need to bring her into the van for her to run diagnostics.
I will do that. And I promise to the group I'm not trying to hide from you from the cameras. I dropped a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to find it because I have a cat and I don't want him to find
It
it.
may also have fallen into the pouch on the side.
Oh, tricky. Because I can't see it under it. I'm like, shit.
Okay, so...
Is it also worth telling you about all the spirits that are currently looking presumably for...
As a
Definitely.
player, absolutely. As a character, I would hope you would. I'm presuming
Yep.
Poppy is intelligent enough to go,
This is
I
bad.
turned on
Right.
Astral and this is not good to
Yeah.
be found. It's just like, oh fuck. Ah, Jesus Christ. I don't need a leg. Matter of time, once I'm crawling around on the floor.
Do you want help getting up?
It's just there. I just want to get the tablet so that I don't forget that it's there and the cat finds it. I don't want to find it.
Well, it made the break for freedom and made it about a meter and a half away from where you thought it was.
Oh, look, considering my hands, I've done well not to have dropped one by now.
Okay, so, yes, Sophie says if you can get her into the van, she can activate her normal anti-intrusion devices, so most people shouldn't pick up what's inside.
So we want to move the coffin?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been able to lift that coffin because obviously I took it down the side of the building, so I will slip out of my van into...
Technically, you can slide from van to van.
Okay, so I'll slide from her van into my van and I'll say we need to transfer, do a transfer, and I'll, obviously Desra needs to stay in the driving seat, but I might get Poppy to help just to make sure it goes smooth.
Okay.
Now I have to get
Okay.
And you see Sophie start activating various consoles and plugging into Euphoria's data jack.
I'm gonna need that help getting up. I can't bend my leg. Sorry. If I lean there, can you just move this shoulder? Fuck. I'm up. Done.
Okay,
This is one of
so
the worst lift we've had to do.
Sophie quickly reports that there's only two major cyberware inside Euphoria. She has a data jack and a sense link, but the sense link seems to be have a transmitter attached to it and is wired into her nervous system,
Oh,
and it is currently running a program.
so is that why it seems like she doesn't have a soul?
Well, it's basically rendered her body comatose.
Yeah.
Because
It's a bit like the kit that had the like Jack the Ripper and Cleopatra and
Yeah, yep.
whatever you want
I
to
get you.
basically took control.
her sense link isn't designed to take control, but it can broadcast the equivalent of emotion, and basically has overcome her system and kept her shut down.
Right. Which sounds like a wonderful experience for this poor girl.
She believes she can override it, but she would want to do so while she's not around. So she's going to basically write a program to plug in.
Yep.
And then you can just pull it out, and she doesn't have to be associated to whatever may happen when she wakes up.
Could you expand?
Did we drive her before she woke up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically you drive away before she wakes up, and that way she's not associated with any memories your charge may have.
Okay. And the other question about is she technically being enslaved?
Unsure, but considering the industry she's worked in, she could technically have walked away at any point, and has enough money that she could walk away at any point.
Okay, so it's probably a choice. We can let her go. That's fine. I'm happy with that.
Also, and shows no sign of actually having been organically or surgically upgraded.
Okay.
So all her beauty is actually natural.
No, that'd be why they want it. That'd be my guess.
The only additions to her is the recording rig, which is the sense link, which basically records her experiences so people who watch her movies feel what she feels.
Yeah.
And it's not only designed to play in her. So someone must have given her a modified model.
Right, I see.
It's rather dangerous to do so because it leads to catatonia.
Can you break that down in layman's terms for those of us who are...
Okay, so basically they've given her modified tech to allow them to inflict damage to stop her waking up.
Right.
Or basically to make her compliant if she does things they don't like, such as run away.
This sounds like it is not a voluntary situation then.
Yet, basically, I'm sure it's not a constant thing because from what she knows of your charge, she doesn't always work with the same people.
Okay. I'm not sure what to make of any of this.
She's not sure either, but normally she wouldn't want to handle something so hot at the moment.
Neither do we, except we are reliant on her for payment. So let's do your upgrade.
She hands you a data chip to put into her data jack.
Yep.
Just plug that in and it will deactivate her sense link and turn off the transmitter.
Right.
Which means, hey, sucks to be the person who wants to turn her off after that.
Yep. So try and plant her right next to Osprey and Stone, right? Joking.
You wouldn't say that to Sophie. She doesn't really want to know that much detail.
Okay. I won't say that to Sophie because she doesn't want to know that much detail. I've just told her the whole story, haven't I?
You have. She's been trying to not know too much.
Right. Well.
But basically help you out and then hopefully get something out of it if you survive.
I've tried to change names and locations where appropriate in order to protect the confidence of the people that I'm dealing with.
So technically, if this works, you can drop her anywhere downtown and not actually get fallout.
Okay.
If you drop her with Osprey, you get immediate fallout.
Yeah, no, look, I wasn't serious about that. I don't want to go anywhere near Stone. Osprey, I might be able to deal with. Stone, I can't.
Okay.
And when I say I might be able to deal with Osprey, I mean I could go invisible and run away, not I'm actually going to interact with him.
And the important part is, how long will it take her to wake up after the data jack is installed?
She thinks moments because basically the program running is keeping her body in a sleep mode. You should just be able to shake her awake after that.
Yep.
Okay. So, in other words, and obviously this is something that Declan's not involved in the complication, but he's after the body brought back into Declan's van and Shadow's back in again. But yeah, Declan's saying, hey,
I'm like, Desiree, you're going to be so happy.
She would also probably, Sophie would also probably suggest that the program that's running is probably something that was designed to help her have a deep sleep. So it may actually have been added in there as a choice of her, but not knowing other people could activate it.
Yeah, well, as I said, I've got no idea what to make of all of this, but we know what to do with her now, we can do that.
Yeah, but the point is, okay, before we release her onto the streets in Seattle, in the downtown or whatever. Give her a stun pack to make her, she's not going to wake up immediately, and wake up groggy with much less understanding or recollection of where she might have been. So,
Well, the only person she's seen is herself telling her she's a clone.
okay, then you can't do more code than code.
That's what I was agreeing with. The only person she's currently seen is someone who said that she was a clone and they were the real her.
Yep.
Okay, so where do you intend to leave her?
I guess not in the middle of nowhere, but not in the middle of everywhere. Look, especially if we're going to leave her groggy with a stun patch, we kind of want to, we want to leave her somewhere safe, because you don't want someone to, I don't know, decide to abduct her because it's Euphoria and they've got this opportunity because she's all groggy and stunned and they decide she's a pet, they can take her home. Somewhere where I guess we can safely monitor her. Maybe borrow one of Sophie drones so that when we drop her off we can just keep an eye on her and make sure she's safe.
Does Desrin have a spy drone that you can use?
Yeah, that would work too.
Certainly the intent, like, Desmond's not going to get any drones, that stuff. Whether he's actually got any, I'm talking directly about it, but I'm happy either way. But okay, Desmond would be happy with the idea of, hey, come for an alley of downtown where there's not necessarily luxury cameras, and
Yeah.
Not that they're registered, but Hollow has a few disposable drones that she's salvaged. They don't have any license to fly downtown, but if we're in a back alley somewhere, then that should be okay.
But okay, at the same time we can get the message through, basically send a broadcast message saying, or well, not broadcast, a message to what's the company that you officially work for? Saying, hey, you have a look down this alley, you might find something worthwhile. So.
Rather than answer that question myself, since Desrin's really keen to do it, I'm going to just tell him what to do, hand it over to him. Because I feel like I've done enough and I already owe Sophie money.
Okay. So there are many places you can drop her. You can drop her at the Mexican takeaway where she seems to spend a lot of time. Her showing up there of her own accord would not seem out of character. You can drop her at a Lone Star, which will get her protection straight away.
If it's not going to like the Lone Star, it's anyway.
You can even notify a certain lieutenant of Lone Star, hey, I've got a tip for you.
Are we talking about Harry?
Harry.
Are we talking about the one Poppy was hitting on?
Yeah, I was going to say maybe we're talking about Poppies.
Well, the one Poppy was hitting on was a patrolman, not an actual ranking officer. So, whereas you've got a couple of high-ranking ones in Seattle who you've got contact details for.
Who are we talking about?
Lieutenant Harry and Lieutenant Columbo.
So me, it's Shadow, right? Okay. Does Harry gain anything from getting this tip off?
If he's the one who brings her in, he gets the kudos of saving her.
I'll call Harry.
Okay, so he picks up with the tired hello.
Hi. It's your favourite friend.
Oh, time for coffee, is it? I could really do with one.
I'm more than happy to catch up with you for coffee. Quick one, but yeah. before we do that, I'm gonna send you GPS coordinates. Well, let's just put it this way. You're gonna get GPS coordinates from a phone you don't know. I absolutely recommend that you turn up there and be the first one there. What time is it?
It is close to midday.
Are you anywhere near downtown?
Currently in Redmond. Spent the last 2 days hunting for a missing starlet.
This might help you out. Might. I don't know. You know, I don't know anything. I'm just an elf. How long would it take us to get from Redmond to where we plan to drop?
Depends, you could drop her in Redmond, and as long as she's safe is all that matters for your contract.
Okay, so does he give me roughly a street location?
He does give you a rough street location where he's currently, or currently is.
Okay.
He's not too far from the main town hall at the moment, having disagreement with the Humanist Poly Club yet again.
Do I know a good alley there?
Yep.
Okay. I'm like, well, you want to be in this alley in 10 minutes?
Well,
Is it reasonable?
You wouldn't tell him the coordinates until after you dropped her.
Yeah, sorry. My brain's...
This is me just trying to help.
Look, however we do it, I'll send him the information, we'll drop her in the alley, and I'll meet up with him for coffee after the hoo-ha dries down.
Is this something the others are happy to do?
I'd say maybe what we'd do is, hey, something to the effect of, we've got some information, we think she's located here. And try to keep it as innocuous as possible.
Well, Harry knows who I am. He knows my voice.
Sure.
So I know he's not going to dog me in. I'm just going to say, look, this is just a tip I heard on the street. I don't know how accurate it is, but you know, the guy who gave me the tip seems to be a pretty good tip. I don't know what it's to do with.
You'd be better off saying she's in the parking garage where you are and then leaving her there with your drones keeping watch.
Okay.
Because basically, the moment you contact him, you need to leave the tip.
Okay, alright, well, I'll do that then.
And then what you need to do is make sure no one else messes with her till he arrives.
I'm good with that.
And you can do that from a distance.
To be honest, I think Shadow wants to go on a holiday.
That's fair.
Is that something everyone else thinks they're happy to do?
I'm
happy to stay on guard out on the street. Astral can stay out for what, as long as
you either maintain it round by round or spend a magic point to sustain it, which you had the point which I put down as sustaining.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yep.
Which then also reduces your magic rating after that point until you drop it.
Yep.
So you can only sustain so much through magic without actually losing all your magic. And each thing you sustain risks you having to use corruption on any further magic.
Yep.
As long as you're only sustaining one thing, absolutely no problem.
Yep.
2 things, starts to become more challenging.
It does?
Yep.
Okay, so, having come up with a reasonable plan and letting Harry know where to find the tip, you set up at a distance so Euphoria is safely in the box until he arrives.
Sounds like a plan.
With the patch on her and the chip already used.
Yep.
Assuming that's what you've done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't know how to wake her.
Yeah, okay. The intent is that when she's found, it's only the drugs that are keeping her groggy or unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, so two police heavy vehicles rock up, considering it is the Redmond Barrens. And they pull up, and you see Harry out in heavy armor, which he's normally not wearing. And it does show signs of battle damage. So it does look as if there's been various incidents while he's been looking for Euphoria. And once he confirms it's her, he ends up speaking on his link almost constantly for the next odd hour before other people show up, including a emergency medical dock wagon vehicle. Of course, the dock wagon vehicle showing up is quite the sight, as you normally don't get their flying transport out in the Barrens. Sort of says how much pull Euphoria has that they flew out to the Barrens.
Not surprising, really. Way too rich.
Well, it means she could probably afford to have clones of herself made for spare parts.
Well, we can really explain why he was thinking, oh, hang on, maybe I'm the clone.
When you're that rich, I'm sure that's a fear that either that or a clone shows up and tells you you're the fake one so they can take over your life. Okay.
Yeah. When you're that rich, you can't trust anybody, especially yourself.
I don't trust myself in real life. Why would I trust myself in role-playing?
Okay, so you get a call from your Johnson saying, good job, not long after Euphoria's up on the news as having been out on a bender. And completely missing her appointments due to alcoholism.
Well, I mean, it all started with her running away from her handlers at the Mexican place, so...
Well, all I've got to say is she's now going to become a representative for sobriety. And she's going to start up a charity, help organisation. And she's going to preach awareness of, alcoholism is a real problem.
I was just hoping that all that singing Poppy did to her made her start to think about better song.
No, you wanted to offer Poppy a contract, right?
Well, if Poppy's not getting a contract, definitely a contract out of this anyway, but at least, she doesn't have to listen to all Jane's crappy music which she plays all the time. Maybe there'll be something better coming through.
And your Johnson is offering to have his agent drop off the remainder of your pay.
Oh, God.
What, the incompetent one?
The incredibly competent one who led who led Pride to us last time. That's why you up for round 2.
I think Bolt's not actively running away this time, so...
Doesn't have to.
No, I don't have to, exactly. My question is, after Euphoria's breaking news, how quickly do all the spirits in Redmond Barren just disappear?
Well, you go from having hundreds in the sky to not a single one, which is very jarring because you're used to a couple of them flying, but whoever's normally using spirits over Redmond isn't active at this stage.
Yeah, because they're probably like, what the beep is going on?
and may have been targeted by various mages who are going, oh look, there's magic down there, let's kill it.
David will suggest that rather than meeting up with Mr. Johnson contact, a group word in Hollow and get an arrangement of a virtual Dropbox.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a much better idea. Let's let's not meet up with the incompetent Johnson again.
If Desmond's the one who's been involved in this conversation with Mr. Johnson, he will definitely deliberately dropping the hint of the fact that he was disappointed with the way that Mr. Johnson handled the situation and his subordinates that led to Euphoria almost being found much earlier than planned.
He says it's not his fault that you got caught. It had absolutely nothing to do with him. And by the way, professionally, he needs to meet up with you guys to confirm to his superiors that he's handed over the money. They don't want any electronic tracing to be available.
Shadow says not it.
Bolt and Fulga put their hands up.
Just because we've already met Mr. Johnson before on the pier with the Razor guy and somebody else parked up. It was Mr. Johnson's incompetent employee that we were simply wanting to avoid.
I'm happy to provide backup.
If he's wanting to arrange a face-to-face meeting with himself, then I'm sure we can find time on the pier again.
Yes, sir.
I don't know about you guys, but my wolfy senses are tingling.
Oh yeah, this is a huge trap. Absolutely. No questions asked. Yeah. Why are the two stupidest characters the ones who calling up trap? Just out of curiosity.
Because my cunning is so high that I can sense danger a mile away. And also I'm an animal at the moment.
In my
so,
defense, I was the first person to call out not it, so...
That's true. That is true. We'll pay that.
I'm just not smart enough to have remembered.
I would like to point out memory has nothing to do with intelligence.
Yeah, that is also true. Alright. Maybe it's the plant on my head. I don't know.
It makes you look pretty.
It does make me look really pretty.
Worth the sacrifice.
Slightly vapid and hello, brain.
Absolutely worth the sacrifice.
Pretty.
Okay, so you get given a time with about an hour to spare to show up at the pier to get your payment.
I take guns.
Yeah.
I'll prepare all my stealth stuff. I've got the stealth gear. I've got my stun grenades as well. Like, if there's a weapon that you ask, did you bring it with you? The answer is yes.
That seems reasonable.
Plus, I'm making sure to pack my flogger. Essential in this situation.
Bolt's already at the pier.
Yeah.
Bolt's just run there in 5 seconds flat.
Who did the think that Mr. Johnson originally contacted this run?
You, I believe, did the negotiations.
It was Desmond?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I note down
Martin's going to call me a liar in 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure it was you, because the guy arrived on a motorbike, something like that, and then you negotiated on the price.
No, I just don't remember it all, so...
And you got, because it's now long term, it's not accurate, but I do have vague memory of longer term stuff. Something to do with dropping 3 of my antispasmodics, which is why I ended up on the floor earlier today. Not relevant. Sorry, brain. So this guy arrived on a bike, and you tried to negotiate, and you managed to get an extra $5,000 for redecorating the apartment or something like that for each of us. So it ended up being a good negotiation, even though we gave you all shit for negotiating.
That doesn't necessarily mean that Desmond was the original contact.
Look, that's
That
what
means
I
that
can remember.
Desmond did the talking, contacting at the meet.
That's okay. It did happen on the 16th of October, so it was a little while ago.
Yeah.
Again, okay, it doesn't bother me too much because it was more the idea of confirming whether or not we've got the one person that should be going back there. I'm happy for Desmond to be the person. He's going to go on in flight. The others can definitely be there as potential support. But the idea being, Desmond's going to be on his flight, going to make a quick getaway. Because when things go down.
Okay. So, you're all down at the pier in various places waiting for Mr. Johnson to show up.
I would like
Sounds good.
to specify I am possibly not the closest person to where the fighting will start.
Okay, so...
But before we get into anything, is there anything astrally here? Because I think I still have that up.
Yeah.
Yes,
And Bowles is having the best time looking at everything astrally because this is amazing.
Okay.
It comes back to get you. Don't say.
Looking at the river, it almost looks as if there's spirits popping in and out of the river. Though sometimes it sort of feels as if it's the dead popping out in and out of the river. Maybe the spirits of all those who drowned.
This isn't the best place to stay. Just saying.
And the sky does seem relatively clear of spirits still.
Is it still in Redmond?
No, this is all the way into Coma.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
And while you're all sitting there waiting, a really nice bike pulls up beside Desrin.
Mm-hmm.
You do recognize the bike. It is from Mr. Diablo, who was your contact for Mr. Johnson.
Yep.
He's the razor guy.
Yep.
He tosses Desrin a pouch.
Yep.
And then rolls off before Desrin has a chance to catch it.
Yep. Okay.
Not suspicious whatsoever.
Explodes.
I will take a quick glance inside.
How quick it lands?
Astrally, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, is the black bag a glowing
I was gonna
ball
say,
of
I'm surprised you
Oh,
didn't
bad.
have at least a flogger next to you.
No.
Poppy and Poppy are
I was gonna go with if it's a round bag and it looks like a glowing ball, Ball probably has to resist chasing it or trying to catch it.
Yep.
I'll pay that. That's fine.
But yes. Dave will have a look inside the bag.
Okay, it is full of breadsticks.
That's
Ooh,
something.
money.
Okay. He's gonna move off from the site and before he goes too far away though, like he'll actually get away from the immediate pier and things like that, and duck out a couple of alleyways and then grab a couple of credit sticks at random and just give them a test to see, make sure they got the value on them.
Each one has 12,500 credits on it. By the way, Jeremy, you also had 500 credits at the start of the session.
How
Okay,
many
thank
do I
you.
have?
He gets that from every session due to his specializations.
Yeah, but I get some, right? It was Valentine's Day. Can't pull that twice? Okay. Fair enough.
Good try.
When I say twice, I did try
Oh,
to
yeah.
pull it
You can
yesterday.
try.
I did try to pull it yesterday. Like, it was Valentine's Day last week. I get something, right? XP?
all the XP you can handle.
Well, you did get the Spencer XP yesterday.
Yeah.
So it worked.
Mind you, you gave everybody else the opportunity to spend their XP, and you're like, right, we're starting the game, and I'm like, when do I get a turn? I've been here all day.
It's a very long turn to have taken. Probably could have done
He said the reason he didn't do it was because I was busy in the kitchen. I almost said, yeah, doing a woman's work, right? But I decided not to do that. Because it's not fair.
Run away.
we have now just set the internet alight with rage.
Okay, so yes, you do check. It doesn't seem to have any programs running on them as far as you can tell.
Well, from my perspective, it was quick confirmed, great. I'm happy that a guy on a motorcycle, he's competent, unlike the guy that came to the hotel.
He only stopped long enough for you to notice him and then toss you the bag.
But also then they said, yes, I'll and the others saying, yep. We're all good. Looks like we're on the up, but it's done.
Time to split the money and split.
Time to party, obviously.
Desert parties?
I'll meet you back at the tower.
Yeah, that sounds more like you.
If only it was Diablo who gave you your mid payment.
Mm-hmm.
I just suspect it would be rather hard to tail him through traffic.
Okay. I'm sure not all of Mr. Johnson's lackeys have to be incompetent.
Okay, so the rest of the day passes rather uneventfully.
Do you give a credit stick to Hollow to like triple check over that there's nothing like no trackers, no
Well, I mean, the point is, they can, I'll get distributed there, so yeah, it makes sense that there'll be a quick run through of them, but yeah. I would like to think that was fairly standard practice, particularly in a situation where Mr. Johnson has not given an opportunity to have it reviewed at the time of the exchange.
I know, but it just as a player is so suspicious.
It's worth thinking,
For the sake of formalities, the answer is yes.
Yes, for the sake of formalities, the answer is yes. Bolt will also finally like drop his astral probably after like hours of keeping it up and being like, whoa, this is a whole other world I can see, and then probably spends the rest of the afternoon
Sleeping.
asking Shadow about it, or Trixie, or someone.
It's pretty, yeah.
Oh, that's right, or Poppy, because Poppy also couldn't see astrally. Paul's just like, you guys are here all the time? This is awesome!
Until it pops up randomly, makes you trip.
Whilst it's the first time that Bolt has done it in a run situation, I'm guessing presumably he's been working on the Trixie for the last little while.
But not actually done it more than away from Trixie's because of the whole dangers of when you look astrally, you can be hit astrally.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the fact that the wonders of how the astral look.
Yeah, but
I
think it's also for the fact that there was so many spirits in the air, whereas like what
yeah, that's right.
or like
It's more than usual, absolutely.
Yeah. And the fact that like I've just seen like spirits in the river and goodness knows what else I saw this afternoon, and just like Bolt was just only used to what's around Trixie's, which is probably like one or two spirits, or maybe even seeing like a familiar of Trixie's or something like that. Very controlled environment, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a extra bit of story for you come morning. So you wake up to the sound of your wrist phone chirping away in the darkness. Your head pounds and your mouth feels like something between cotton and sandpaper. You have dim visions of a bartender calling himself Clockwork and had bright orange hair in a short spike. He wore a large medallion with a small view screen on it that constantly played some violent English film from the last century. Clockwork served you something called Rippers late into the night as you celebrated your recent income.
What if we don't drink?
If you don't drink, then your character probably not getting the phone call and probably not having the headache.
Okay, I just want to put my hand up the fact that my character hasn't drunk for like the whole campaign.
So Clockwork served you something called Rippers late into the night and you celebrated your recent income. Your head's now throbbing and it feels as though your brain is going to explode out of your skull. You promise yourself to practice some restraint the next time you celebrate. You grope for your wrist phone, which is lying somewhere in the dark, grab it, clear your throat, thumbing the switch, you get a hoarse croak of, yeah? You flip the view screen showing Ellery Whitecastle dressed in a smoking jacket. He fidgets nervously with a pipe. Hello, chummer. Look, we've got a bit of a problem. Meg Media somehow discovered that you were behind the temporary disappearance of Euphoria. So far, they're peaceful. They want you to meet with Robert Carone, her manager, at the Pacific Towers lobby at 11 o'clock this morning. It's possible that they will excuse our involvement in the affair if you let slip them any information you have on our former employers. Have your team meet with Carone at 11 at Pacific Towers, at least see what he has to say. I'll be in touch as necessary. The screen dies to a blip of green light and folds away automatically. The door opens and light frames a large man. The overhead light splatters on your room and you see the big guy has orange hair and a medallion something about Beethoven. Have a good nap, mate? Time for you to be leaving, I'm afraid. Come back soon. Clockwork shows you to the back door of the storage room where you apparently spent the night. So, is this Desrin?
Probably doesn't, right?
Did you check, but okay.
The question
said, is this Desrin?
The question asked was this Desrin or was it one of the others or multiples of the others?
I mean, Bolt doesn't drink. I don't think Shadow drinks.
No, Shadow doesn't drink.
Poppy definitely does.
So it's
White
Poppy,
Castle?
it's Tarlin.
Whitecastle is the name of your Johnson who hired you.
I think, yeah, Poppy and Tarlin definitely
Johnson
do.
or Fixer?
He was the Johnson who actually hired you.
He was the guy we saw in the limo on the pier.
That is correct.
Right,
Just
okay.
confirming to make sure I'm
How
right.
did they accidentally know that we were involved?
They accidentally gave us away. Like,
Yeah, I know,
like
right?
it was we've been sold out to see. Like,
Okay, so and that, if we're talking different, getting the correct.
Well, actually, your Johnson was named someone else. At least as far as I can tell. Okay, so yes, Ellery Whitecastle is... yeah, sorry, following the plot of the story can be rather difficult when it jumps in different places.
Well, it's not like a story like a normally meant to be linear.
But you had... So he is most likely associated with the job you got. One of the people involved.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just like the name got dropped, and I think, should I know that name? And obviously, having been a long time since I was since last year, it was passing. Okay. And he wanted us to meet somebody.
Yes, he wanted you to meet Euphoria's manager, Robert Carone.
Okay, so,
Alright, let's do it.
and did he have a location?
He did. He gave you the place where Euphoria lives as the place to meet in the lobby.
Okay. So definitely appropriate time to get dressed up in appropriate business attire.
Shadow's stealthing the entire way, as invisible as she can be.
Poppy's gonna dress the part.
Bolt is probably gonna join Shadow and stealthing because this fancy stuff.
Don't get me wrong, I like fancy stuff. I'm just not interested in being fancy stuff here.
Though Jane keeps bugging everyone to go on it because of a chance to meet Euphoria.
Okay, Jane, fine. But you have to behave and, not beg for an autograph.
You see she's already got 5 things with Euphoria's picture all over it and a pen.
Yeah, alright. Someone's gonna have to rein her in. Alright.
To be fair, you said not beg. She might demand, she might plead, she
Threaten,
might ask.
yeah, there's a series of options. I got it. I was the poor choice of wording.
Say this or I'll kick you.
Sign this or I'll kick you in half.
Okay, well,
it could be
it's basically Declan will head up towards the tower and send a message to the others, not necessarily saying, hey, we got to meet up to discuss things. He won't necessarily take the content of the message that he received over the line. And then obviously talk to everyone else around. And he's a bit surprised that everyone's jumping at the opportunity to go.
For the record, I am not jumping.
No, that's okay. Like you think you're in shadow, so that's okay. The idea is
I'm only going to go if I have to.
going to meet Euphoria's manager in public at Euphoria's apartment, or at least a building.
Do we have to do
Immediately
this?
after it had been discovered that we accidentally have been implicated
The
in her.
story, she was bent on a vendor. Remember? So
Yes.
that's we're not ousted in the public eye yet.
No, but you're talking about meeting her manager, who presumably knows the true story, or at least a more accurate version of the true story, in a public place, and therefore be recognised and diggable.
I'm not sure we should
As
go
much as
on.
Declan doesn't want to do it, he's the one apparently that the contact would have been made, so he can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Everybody else has an opportunity of plausible deniability by not being associated to this meeting.
I'm happy
to be
to
there.
go as backup, but I'm not going to associate with you as part of the group. I'm
And,
just
that's
there in
all.
case you end up in trouble enough that you need my help.
and so confirming Ellery Whitecastle is the fixer who gave you the contact in the first place, so knows 1 or 2 members of your team personally.
Right.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have passed on your details.
So obviously, the point being, he hasn't necessarily passed on the details of all the team to
I want to know how
the
they
manager.
found out.
Well, okay.
I want to know how they found out. We were
Yeah.
really careful.
Yeah, maybe we'll find out how we found out or how he found out.
Yeah,
But
Johnson was.
but obviously to get this, if this White Castle, who acted as the intermediary between us and Mr. Johnson to make that initial contact, so therefore he was known to Mr. Johnson. If Mr. Johnson was unhappy, then he may have been able to put pressure on White Castle or other things. But anyway, so everyone's happy to be getting dressed up in appropriate business attire. Is there anybody else who's actually going openly with Declan?
Poppy will.
Poppy, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Apparently, the silence is your answer.
Yeah, happy with that. Is there anybody else aside from Shadow who's going to try and go undercover?
Still.
And I think Bolt gets with Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sticking with Shadow.
And is Flogger going to be in the vicinity?
Logan can run bodyguard if needed.
Okay, so Flogger's happy to put on the appropriate suit that Declan provides and stand over what's behind his back.
Well, the last being dressed up like Desmond, right?
Is that silent with consent?
I have no idea.
Can I say yes and have it be hilarious?
And I say that because I'm not in the room or in reach of Josh, so right now I'm untouchable.
Declan would be happy to have Flogger acting as bodyguard for Declan and presumably Poppy, as long as he understands the rules of you're dressing in the suit that's provided, and don't try anything, just follow along behind and stand still when we're not moving.
I'm pretty sure Jane would happily provide bodyguard if for the fact that she might want to wander off to check after Euphoria.
Well, again, it's the idea of who wants to be a publicly facing Euphoria's manager with the apparent admittance that we were involved in Euphoria's abduction. So,
yeah, that's fine. That's still a reason for Jane to be able to get in the room.
okay. In which case then, can we do a bit of Declan or Hollow or someone can do a quick computer search on confirming what we can find out publicly or somewhat privately on the manager?
Okay, gonna look up the details so I can tell you what.
At the very least, we'll at least have a picture and know on site as to who we're looking for. And how many bodyguards we're fighting our way past?
How many people must be killed?
Always one more.
I mean, Flogger literally just said to me like 5 minutes ago, was like, yeah, let's kill them all.
Of course.
Because that's exactly everything, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Is
what
there a
was
door
it?
nearby? He has a look.
Oh, door. Yep.
I'm sure a door will work and solve all problems. Just looking for the dice to roll for the check to see if you can figure out any details about said bad guy.
Bad guy.
Well, he's a executive. Of course, he's a bad guy.
Mine was weird, so
That's
I
fine.
cannot find. I could not find my dice.
I'm sure he's got misunderstood or drawn that way or something.
Yeah. It's always about how we're drawn, right?
Just ask me credit.
I will thank you on her behalf to call her Mrs. Wasn't she married to Roger?
Well, possibly by the end of the movie.
No, she was married at the start, right? What is he, that guy? He makes me laugh.
Okay, so looks like our holo comes through with decent information on Robert
What, you're saying the whole computer skills are better than Desmond's? Unbelievable.
Oh, shocker.
Well, look, the GM rolled and there was a triumph.
Very nice.
And triumph with 6 successes. That's not a bad result at all.
Was it a spec ops or a...
It was computer sysops.
yeah, sorry, sysops. That's it.
So, a triumph and 6 successes. Edward, if you're not absolutely perfect, could get a triumph and 4 successes. If everything was absolutely perfect for them.
Well, 5 successes because the triumph counts as a success as well.
Okay, there you go. So, that's going to be all extra good.
Okay, so what you get is Karone is Euphoria's agent and manager and vice president of Mega Media. He notes say that he's an alright guy. He gives you a fair shake in the deal. Work appears to be killing him, and he refuses to give up other acts, even though he manages Euphoria. Managing Euphoria takes most of his time. His heart goes to stress out unless he slows down or gets a Chiba organ to replace it, is the scuttlebutt on him. Plus, you get a bit extra information that he's always worried about Euphoria. They say he's delayed recording of Jungle Huntress because he didn't think there was enough security at the jungle location. He's also worried that Osprey character who guards Euphoria, he thinks the guard is a financial leech.
Yeah, he is. I feel like we'd get along real well.
And he seems to be looking after Euphoria's interests in most things, but doesn't have final say because he's just the manager. If someone else talks her into doing something, he can't stop her.
Mm-hmm.
He can advise her not to do it, but all he can do is advise. And he's the rep for the corporation that she works for.
Right. Seemingly, as good as what you can expect from a bad guy, yeah.
He's the vice president of a corporation. He's a bad guy to all Shadowrunners.
Yeah. But most importantly, we've got a good vigilante dog who's going up and fighting in the crowd.
I do. A red-haired, emaciated sort of looking man who is probably older than his years. Okay, so you've got enough time to drive out there and meet him. Do you take one car, multiple cars?
Probably multiple cars.
I mean, Shadow and I are stealthy and probably multiple cars, right?
Okay, so there's technically 4 of us who are going in. There's Jason, Poppy, Jane, and Slaughter as bodyguards. And then Shadow and Bolt are unbeing protected, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. Which means you can stick the 4 of you who are going in together in the van and pull up out front and walk in, and have the other 2 in the other vehicle keeping distance.
Yeah, that's the thought process.
Okay. So it is a rather pleasant drive in, sun shining, no acid rain, actual break in the clouds, no foul breeze coming from the river.
Well, oddly nice day.
What could go wrong, you say?
Obviously, all those spirits chase the clouds away.
Okay, so you're a little nervous as you enter Pacific Towers, but the guards don't give you any problems. You tell him you're here to meet Robert Caron in the lobby. He points to the left at the bar and tells you Mr. Caron is waiting for you at a table over there. The area is deserted except for a tall, lanky man in business grey suit. The man sits motionless, brooding over a drink that rests on the table in front of him.
Oh, sorry.
He has red hair combed in a conservative corporate style, and opaque sunglasses rest upon his thin, hawk-like nose.
I would like to have given an in-ear comm to Desrin so that we're aware of what's going on if they need us.
Oh, we're just giving me headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't sure, so I figured I would mention it just in case.
Yep, all good. And obviously, the person we're directed to matches the description of the photo that we had of him on file.
Looks like he may have aged a lot since you saw him in the photo.
Well, hey, apparently the last couple of days might have been a bit hard for him, I'm guessing. Well,
He does seem to watch you approach.
and we will move up and Declan will, pretty return. I believe you wish to have a discussion?
Glad you could make it, gentlemen, he says. Anyone want a drink? You're gonna need it.
Really want to say no to that. Might be part of the problem.
He's not Declan's concerned about the idea of, last meal, last drink, condemned today.
He says, he gestures to the AR in front of him, and you just order what you feel like, he says.
Well, Declan will partakers offer 3 consumables within a worthwhile establishment like this place.
There's...
especially if it's going to be a last meal.
You do get quite a nice range of drinks that generally most bars can't stock. It's definitely a luxury place to stock this stuff.
Nice. And when the kids go out, they say, surprised, pleasantly surprised that you would know one such a guy, you would ask him my name. Is there something I can do to help you?
Says, yes, why don't we first come into this meeting room so we can talk privately, he says. Bring your friends.
Comm's cut out.
Yay. I love small sequestered meeting rooms.
And so looking around the spot where we are, or the bar or whatever, does it look like the manager's got obvious muscle covering him?
Well, there's not a single person in sight besides the door guard when you came in. You wouldn't expect it to be this quiet. He's obviously arranged for people to not be around while he's talking to you.
Okay.
I'm sure the no witnesses thing is an important factor in dealing with Shadowrunners.
It's unfortunately not also public place.
That's fair.
And you want to go somewhere even quieter and more intimate.
Come into this room, I have it specially prepared.
Yes, I've already laid out the plastic.
Yeah.
Just stand there and wait for the noise. Watch the muzzle.
Don't worry,
Just stand
Desmond.
on the zebra cross on me.
I'll just pretend I'm you. I'll get Hollow to hack your accounts and take over your income. Your estate will be fine.
Okay, so once you're in the room, he closes the door and you see him lock it. You hear the click in that door and in other doors around the room. And then...
Now I'm actually more concerned of the idea that now I'm in an enclosed room with Slogger.
Yeah, I was going to say, come on out of your hand.
you knew this was coming.
And what was the statement, Ariadne?
I said, I will, if I lose complete contact with them, see if I can stealthily look at an astral level to figure out where they are, if they completely disappear on the radar.
Okay, so continuing on, after he locks the door, he powers on a white noise generator in the middle of the table.
Yeah, so.
Which comes to life with a dull hum, causing static in everyone's comms.
Yeah. Should have expected as such. When are we going to upgrade our gear with all the money we've got to accommodate, getting around this stuff?
He says, I am Robert Carone. I am Vice President at Mega Media in charge of Euphoria's career. I was her manager for many years before the Mega Media contract, so my interest is personal as well as professional. As you are well aware, Euphoria disappeared last weekend. The kidnapping severely affected her earnings. The kidnapping severely affected her earnings this month because it caused a profitable deal with Strice Foods to fall through. But that's history, and I don't like to deal with the past. Unfortunately, it seems that history is about to repeat itself. Another big corporation, who shall remain nameless, has contracted with Euphoria for another advertising campaign. Now Euphoria has disappeared again. If we don't find her by this weekend, assuming she still lives, then this second advertisement contract will be voided. Your people are not too popular with Mega Media these days because of your involvement in the first kidnapping.
What?
Corporate business is handled by men of education and status.
Yeah,
When-
sorry.
Yeah.
Couldn't help myself.
When street people like you attempt to dictate the flow of business in the corporate world, you anger those corporations. Your corporate employer for the extraction has settled its debt with us, as has your friend Allery Whitecastle. Calhoun stops and looks at his watch. Excuse me, as did your late friend, Mr. Whitecastle. It is time for you to clean your slate with Mega Media and make new in doing it. Euphoria has been kidnapped again from her condo this time. Because I thought you might know what happened to her, I decided to offer you the job of finding her rather than trying to interrogate you. Find her and bring her back before this Saturday, and I can offer you each $20,000 for the job, or half that amount if Euphoria is turned later than 6 a.m. Saturday morning.
Make sure you get enough for all of us.
Take the job, and Mega Media will forget your involvement in the first kidnapping. Refuse it, and all I can promise is Mr. Whitecastle received some 15 minutes ago.
Well,
First of all, obviously, I don't have any understanding of what you're talking about previous involvement, but we are certainly more than happy and capable of providing our services to investigate if certain celebrities might get lost occasionally.
He says your previous employer recorded the deal and had a recording.
oh,
Yeah. It might be a clear case of mistaken identity, but anyway, like you said, the park is park. The and yes, my team and I can certainly provide assistance in hunting down certain personnel, but certainly with a job at such short notice and at such a short time frame, it certainly, as you know, time is money, and the reduction in time would imply an increase in money, so perhaps we can discuss exactly what the value of her recovery is.
He says, sure, what are you proposing?
Yes.
Full
They started at
immunity.
20,000 each. She said, okay, well.
If you return Euphoria, it's full immunity. If you return Euphoria.
Right. Full immunity, even if you don't. You will have to bring in at least 3 other colleagues. So.
Just doing a quick calculation in my head, so how many people are protecting on the party?
6.
7.
7.
8?
Yes, 7. Including Hollow and Neuro? 9.
Well, I'll have to think about what.
Yeah, so I was counting. We got Womp.
You have 7 players, whether or not you include their
Okay,
multiple
so
characters
just the
or
7
not.
players then.
Yeah.
Well, brain.
So that'd be 140 total.
Yeah.
Your players won't
add
be-
10%.
Your players want to involve extra characters, their other character, they have to share their money between them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
what the
right.
rules were because I only got 1 character.
Main reason I'm saying that is so no double dipping on the run.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the other thing, so I'm doing okay, so if the base party is technically 7, then that's 140. If we go for an extra 10%, so that'd be 154. They could probably say, we're looking about 160, okay, so we've got like 160 total. 160,000 total.
Okay, so part of the deal is secrecy, no one is to know.
Hey. You've questioned my middle name.
He says he doesn't really want to know who named you.
Isn't it that the guy so previously mentioned?
Okay, so 160 million, he can do that. Of course, that will all be contingent on completion, no upfront payment to this. Because if you fail, that money will be put on a bounty for you.
Okay. Would be advantageous to have a little bit up front, just so we can start covering and discussions with contacts and leads and things like that. Certainly, money can help grease those wheels.
He laughs and says you just got paid, so he knows you're rolling in it.
See, I wouldn't be having this conversation with this Johnson at all, but I'm not there, so I'm just going to be amused in the background.
Hey, it's a good for negotiation these days.
Look,
I'm going to have to sign off and just go for the loose connection, so
Okay.
Okay.
catch
I
you all
was going to
later.
say, it's a
See you
shame
later.
Poppy him.
Okay, so we've got the 150,000 total, but he's not really got anything up front.
He is not. Because he's threatening to put the entire lot as your bounty if you fail to return Euphoria.
But hey, it's still a case of, it's a bit late, it's still 80,000.
It's still 80,000 as long as she's alive.
What happens if she's dead and we find her, but it's not our fault?
He'll probably still put the bounty out because he'd be pissed.
Oh, great.
Basically, returning her alive cleans your slate. Not getting your slate clean means they erase you from the slate.
Hey, come on, it's not our fault she went on a bender all weekend.
I think.
Not that I'm there, but I'm backseat. Backseat,
Desmond is certainly negotiating, but never admitting to any involvement in any previous statement or concern.
And the fact that he just killed your fixer because of his involvement in it.
Look, I think even Desmond has the intelligence to realise at this point that you have the potential of miffing him if we.
Obviously, everybody in the room knows exactly what the situation is. That's not going to be a conversation on my side.
And he says,
when it comes on his side.
He says the last rule is you need to update him every 8 hours on this number about what's going on, no exceptions. Failure to do so will mean bounty being posted at that time.
Okay. I can do that. I can set an automated thing. Yeah, all good. No further report. NSTR, nothing feeling to report. Exactly. What day was Monday, so wasn't it? Monday, late Monday morning, wasn't it?
Yep, 11 a.m. Monday morning.
And we've got to have Euphoria back by Friday morning.
By Friday.
Friday morning, okay.
If she's after 6 a.m. Saturday is when the deadline is, but he wants her back sooner.
Right, yeah, no, that's understandable. Is there a bonus for early coming back?
If you can get her back earlier and she is undamaged, he will look into a bonus.
Okay. Money's inverse in Portugal's time, so the higher the money is, the shorter the time will be.
He says he can authorize a higher payment if you can get her back sooner.
Okay. Woo! 151,500.
It'll all depend on who's taken her.
Okay, so he says best place to start is her apartment, and at that point he will turn off the white noise generator and unlock the door, gesturing away the hit squad outside.
There will be responding back to. Well, yes, if that's where you get your taken, that would seem an obvious place to start.
And next session you will be dealing with Euphoria's apartment. Jane will be so happy. And will probably steal so much stuff.
But he's probably not going to meet her in the beginning of that session.
No.
He's like to want to do a thing and stick her underwear drawer, but not actually meet her up front.
Do you know what the brilliant thing is we're actually ahead of the game in terms of layout of her condo, because we did that research previously.
We did.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to say. But yeah.
And so someone did what you planned.
Yeah. Well, take her from the balcony in the middle of the night or something.
Took her from her apartment.
From her apartment, from her condo.
Obviously, Stone and Osprey aren't really that good, unless, of course, it's Stone and Osprey that did it. Because they could be paid to betray their own clients, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Especially if they were fired for the letting her get taken.
Yep.
okay. As far as the party's aware, are Stone and Osprey still on the table?
You do not know. They have not been mentioned at all.
Okay, yeah, but okay, I could realize the impact that
It's probably a question.
when we captured Euphoria, it's not like we killed them or got rid of her at that time, was it?
No.
Nope, they were there. One of them activated something which most likely kept her knocked out, or would at least have rendered her unable to drive.
Might be worth asking before we leave, Robert, did Stone and Osprey get fired? You know, what the situation was with them, because that'll tell you about whether or not they might be the likely kidnappers.
Yeah, well, that'll be part of the discussion that we have while we're up in the apartment about, okay, what security did you have and things like that.
Yeah, I've just mentioned it before next game.
As you are currently halfway through the adventure.
Only halfway.
Well, on the plus side, so that means the Euphoria is not getting kidnapped 3 times.
You sure about that?
Well, we must be able to be kidnapped once in return, kidnapped again, we're at the halfway point. So,
Hey, maybe it's like 24 and she keeps getting kidnapped every time she's returned.
Sucks to be
It's Groundhog Day, but it's Euphoria Day.
Hey, on the plus side, if we keep getting paid 20 plus grand every time she's disappeared, that's a weekly earning.
Hey, look at it this way. You're looking at earning the 40 grand in a week. If you can get her back before Friday, that will be 40 grand in a week.
Yeah.
But it's been over.
Well, 45 actually, maybe 50 if you get a bonus.
And then, of course, if you get kidnapped again on the weekend, then hey, money big for them.
Well, you are the experience. You do have a lot of experience with returning her from kidnapping now.
That's right. We don't have it. We can go to a vendor. She's been called a time locked in a box.
Okay, so with that, I will say, do you want to add anything before we go to end credits, as it is on 10:30 now?
I'm all good.
How about Em or Josh?
All good.
Okay, so going to end credits and then chat to you after.